Hi friends, vegan MDs there with a cat, and today I want to invite you to come into my kitchen lab to watch and witness the process of creating a new recipe. First of course I have to take my apron, essential for any chef, you know. Ooh. Ooh. Wrong. Okay, this is where my neck goes through, my head, around my neck. We're getting there. Bear with me. So, apron's on. Now we can start. Once I'm fingering with my equipment here, I can begin already to tell you what this is all about. Yeah, once you if I make a new recipe, can take some time. May take some time because I want to start simple with some main ingredients, basic ingredients. For example, as today, I would like to start from my 5 minutes pea soup. Many of you have already seen and tasted it. It is really a good recipe, good basic to start from. And now I begin already to try two different variations. Once I took the chili way, a little bit more spicy, and with vanilla. You know, vanilla and chili, they are okay with each other, they don't like each other. Vanilla is opening your senses to new experiences. Yeah, you are open, vanilla opens you. And the chili is making it hot, you know, the fire element. So, yeah, it's a very great combination. And yeah, somehow they are ready to these sweet peas. Sweet peas, they are frozen from the field when they are harvested. And so they remain with their original flavor and nutrient contents. And if I feel I have had a lot of fruit and greens, you know, like salads or so, now and then I would like, my body needs something else, like for example complex carbohydrates, proteins, things that are to be found in peas or legumes and these kind of things. So I like these a lot. And sweet peas, the baby peas, they are very easy because they can be used simple as they are without soaking or anything. So it's very nice to use them. Okay, that's why I use peas in the first reason, besides the taste of course and the flavor. So the first way was, for variation, was using vanilla and a little bit chill. The second way I tried was mint. And yeah, it was great to use mint. I found out it is perfect with the peas. I had no idea before. A friend of mine told me, use the mint in the peas always. Okay, I did. And then after using both, I wondered, hey, why shouldn't I try to combine with both? Yeah, combine the mint and the vanilla. Of course, using chili also. So that's what I want to go to do. I want to go into what I'm going to do now. So I boiled my water already. I got the base of my soup is the onion and avocado, and fancy a little bit up, coconut mousse, coconut butter. So I first take a piece of my onion, and you already know I cannot take a lot of onion into the sweet peas because they are quite, you know, they are quite sensitive or gentle. You don't want to overrule them by the strong, healthy. So I cut it into a half. my special board, cutting board for the onion. And as I take some extra spices like vanilla, chili and mint, I might use some more onion because it won't be dominating so much. So this time I take half of an onion. I try that. And together with the avocado and the coconut butter, it will be, let's say, moderated a little bit. So I take from the 2/2 of the avocado, I take the bigger one for my soup. First I put the onion in, I cut it, water it, easier to blend. Always make it easy if possible for a blender, especially if you don't have a power blender, which is fine. Then you just cut some more smaller pieces. Avocado is in now, and the coconut flour, the coconut butter. I spoon or knife something out like this, you know, a chunk. That's up to you. Can't go that much wrong with this kind of dressing, with this kind of soup. And I cut my chili. First I cut the top, the head, and then I make a long cut lengthwise to open up the chili. So I can open it. You see, I open the chili, and you see the little seeds. Because these seeds, they are full of power, but you don't want this power in your soup, because we have to be Mexican, or Thai or so, or really South Indian, to really go for these tastes. So I scrape them out. That's more human, more moderate. The chili in itself is hot enough. Little kernels will be way too much. So I just scrape them out with a little spoon. That is an easy way. And let's say I take here such a little piece, you see, into the blender. The rest goes to store. Here are my mint leaves, they're from my own garden. See, mint leaves. I cut the tops from the mints in the garden. They grow like anything. They grow from on their own. I didn't even plant them, so they do what they like. Available for me in my kitchen. Into the soup. So almost everything is in, but the always basic, in general, is salt. Here, Himalayan salt. Here, I put some into my hand. There you see about the quantity I use. It's a good helping, good portion. Because it is critical to how much salt you use. If you decide to use salt at all, it is not necessary. It's not mandatory. Because there are cultures without using salt as the first spice. For example, the Moroccan culture, before invaded by the French, they never used salt. And it was their cultural identity. And when the French came a second time to really conquer them, finally, after they had retaken their country, they had an overwhelming sea power, the French. And they didn't want to bring it to some. They wanted to allow the Moroccans to remain, to keep their honor, their dignity. So they didn't just say, so we conquer you, give away your weapons. They didn't see that. They were more polite. That's a French kind of subtlety. It is questionable, of course, but that's the way the French have been then. They asked them in front of the harbor, the main harbor, they asked them from the boats and the ships, from the fleet. Do you want our salt? And would the Moroccans have said, no, we keep our pimento, that's a kind of pepper, then that would have been war. Because the salt, well, the identity of the Western culture was in the salt. You know? So the Moroccan was sly and clever, and they said, okay, we take your salt. So for me, that is history. And that story is so interesting because not only of the salt, but also of the possibility, the option, not to use salt. And to use pimento instead of salt, give the whole kitchen a completely different flavor character. What the salt does is, you can't even say it is not really a spice. The salt is more something like an enhancement. Enhances other spices, other flavors, and you can, with the salt, with the using of by using salt, you can bring each flavor in a dish to its maximum unfolding, so that you have the optimal taste of each little ingredient. That's what salt does. That is so fantastic, and for that reason, you have to use a very certain amount, a very special amount of salt in the dish. It is not something subjective, as you would say. And sometimes people, if they see the big chefs, you know, the star chefs, there are no honored chefs and so, internationally known. If they say, oh, you know, this is too much, too little salt, someone would wonder, what is he talking about? If I don't like that much salt, how can he say that it's too much, too little salt? The trick is what they're referring to. Is not their individual taste. What they're referring to is the maximum, bringing a dish to its optimum flavor. So all the single ingredients, they will unfold to the optimum capacity. That's what salt does, and that's what these chefs are talking about. Yeah? If they have these radical judgments, seemingly radical. But no, there's a good reason for it. So you have to find out which amount it is, and if you take a little bit too much, the whole dish is spoiled. You won't like it anymore. Yeah? If you take too little, you don't have the optimum flavor. So it is a certain amount. Interesting, isn't it? To me it is. So now we have the pepper and the salt in it. Yes, it's a basic. And the pepper, for example, as a spice, has a very intrinsic value too. It is allowing your system to assimilate the other ingredients, the nutrients. That's what pepper does, so pepper is very important. The other side of the story is that the pepper can be a little bit gross for your stomach. Yeah. So there is it's a double bind story a little bit. So be careful with pepper. If you are not too sensitive, if you like the pepper, yes, fine. If you don't like the salt, fine too, and find an alternative. If you have some condition with your health, you don't need to have salt. You can take other things too. For example, in future I will elaborate a little bit on the pimento story. There are whole cultures still there. For example, the Greek. Yeah, they have some nice dishes. They're using pimento. For example, they have their famous pimento potatoes. You will not find a dish similar like this. But that will come later. Now we are with our pea soup. And the experiment is going on. Now I put my water in. Yeah, my water in. To take the next step towards our new pea soup recipe variation. Yeah, this is a little bit, it has to be a little bit more water than the peas, you see. Here, peas go until here, and the water has to be 2 or 3 centimeters above. That's usually the right quantity to make, for my taste, the perfect consistency. And again, this is not always just subjective. Yeah, the right texture. It isn't that subjective as many may think, because same with the salt, same story with the texture. The texture is used as a tool for a good chef to allow the person who eats the soup, or anything he eats in the dish, to make the greatest experience all the ingredients. Okay, I'm just hinting at some points which are important or crucial if you want to create a recipe. I will in the future time elaborate on that. So far so good. You know what comes now? 1, 2, 3, boom! Now, surprise! How was that working? Already see? Texture is pretty good. Oh yeah, nice and runny. Creamy yet? That's perfect. Oh. I forgot vanilla. So it's all in, but the vanilla. It's good now to taste it before the vanilla and after. Oh, this is a strong vanilla flavor. Wow. I take the back side of the spoon, not to touch the vanilla with my mouth. See, this is a good helping, a good portion. One more. And the third one. So maybe it is a heaping teaspoonful of vanilla. Let's one more blend. Now I have to wash my spoon anyway. Okay. Oh yeah, oh yeah, this is perfect. They go together, vanilla and I tell you what, when I first tasted the mint soup, the minty flavor, I thought, there is you know, something a little bit shallow behind the mint. Maybe I took a little bit mint, too much mint. Maybe. But I've taken a little bit less, perfect mint alone, and the chili. But now with the vanilla, it is a perfectly balanced. You still have the mint in the background, and you have the vanilla on the other side, and yeah, the chili. Oh, this chili is perfect. Perfect. Oh, I'm happy. Please try it. Yeah. Next time I will go on with my experiment. This is variation number 3 of my nice little pea soup. I see you very soon, and now I'm going to enjoy this. Bye bye.